Afternoon, everybody. Well, I'm not my. Start video. Now I have a picture.
Oh, there he is. Just popped up from.
Yeah. He's a handsome devil in the fire department shirt.
You see, there's actually rain in the forecast.
Yes.
Ready.
Okay. Can everybody hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to start the meeting. We have a chief, yes. Okay, I start the Klickitat County Fire District Commissioner, or District 3 Commissioner meeting for September 9th. It's 15:02, 3 minutes or 2 minutes after 3. Call the meeting to order. The attendance, that's Tom Monte, Commissioner. Everybody
Charles Rutz.
identify yourself. Let us know who you are.
Charles Rutz, Commissioner.
Bob Connor, Commissioner.
Lloyd Olson.
Eric Bossler.
Rosalind
I'm not
Plum,
hearing
District
anybody.
Secretary.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Wes Long, Fire Chief.
Jennifer McLean, Administrative Assistant.
Sandy? I need some help.
I know who our
I'm
concerned
not
neighbor.
hearing anybody, but I think you're hearing me.
I hear you. I'm wondering who the concerned neighbor is. I didn't hear them identify themselves.
Is there some reason why that would be? They can't hear me, or they can hear me, but I can't hear them.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Tom.
Somebody.
Unmute your speaker. Please, I am to hear other participants. Unmute your speaker. Where's your speaker?
I didn't check it before I started. Figured it'd be working.
I can
Uh,
hear you now. I can hear
That's somebody
Sandy.
to talk to.
Okay, talk somebody.
I can hear Sandy.
Loud and clear, Sandy.
Good.
Okay, record actions, video, mute.
We want to go back out and come back in.
I don't understand. Oh, your speakers are working. Oh, there we go.
Somebody talking now.
Eric, say something.
Yeah, hi Sandy.
Okay,
Okay.
we're working now.
All
The
right,
boss got her fixed there.
there you
Okay,
go.
as I was saying, you probably all said to go for attendance. Hopefully everybody did.
No, they've
Did you hear
not,
everybody, Ron?
Commissioner.
Okay, let's start over. Open the meeting, call the meeting to order, Fire District 3, September 9th, 15/5/05 now. Well, attendance, please, everybody identify yourself. I'm Tom Montag, Commissioner.
Okay, I'm Bob Connor, Commissioner.
Chuck, you're on mute.
Son of a gun. Well, it's because I'm being a mystery man today. I'm Charles First, Commissioner.
Wes Long, Fire Chief.
Lloyd Olson,
Eric Bossler.
Rosalind Plum, District Secretary.
Jennifer McLean, Administrative Assistant.
So how about
Okay, I've
Bob
got
Connor? Can you hear me?
4 other people there. That-
Five.
Actually, 5 other people that are not talking. I need to hear who you are. There's one that says a concerned neighbor. White. Sarah Kane. Sherry Bosquet.
Hi, I'm Sarah Kane. I'm a neighbor.
Okay, thank you. We need this for our record for the,
Sherry Bosque.
And Justin Bosque is here too.
okay, I got a concerned neighbor and a white.
Who is the concerned neighbor?
That, I think you can
Please
just move,
identify
carry on.
yourself.
It's okay.
Okay, minutes of the last meeting, the August 12th regular business meeting. Gentlemen, did you have an opportunity to read the minutes? If so, I need a motion to approve.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes as presented.
I will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Okay, Rod, Secretary Finance report.
Move that, sorry. All right, trying to gain control. Sorry about that. Okay, Secretary's report for August. If you've seen it there, we have general balance of ending now 273,431.37. Our capital balance 9,601.27. Money in the bond fund is 361,050.31. And then invested funds are 729,536, and the capital fund still invested is 2,161,948.09. Commissioners, you've seen the general expense fund, the operating budget for 2021. It's currently at 53%. So expenditures to date are $260,753.02. That's out of our annual budget of $489,403.55. And then total expenditure from the general funds, just as a holding place, is the additional expenditure was the radios, $23,893.56. So total expenditure to date is $284,646.58. And then commissioners, you should have seen the scripts that have gone out since your last meeting. That would need approval.
Okay, gentlemen, I need a approval to pay these scripts. Motion to approve the scripts.
Yeah, I was up there yesterday and I had a chance to look at all the expenditures. So I approved them.
You have a motion that we can approve these and pay this?
You want to? I'll move to approve the bills as presented.
Second,
All those in favor?
I
All right.
Aye. So moved. Okay, capital fund, Ross.
Again, we'll come down to the summary in a minute, but then the scripts for the capital fund, 2 have gone out that you should have seen, which are all for the building work.
Okay, gentlemen, I need a motion to approve the script for the capital fund to approve to pay.
so move.
I second that motion.
All those in favor?
I
All right.
Aye. So approved. Okay, Ross.
Okay, no change on the bond fund. Again, that's taken care of at the county level. It's next payment out will be December. And invested funds, as stated on the table up above, general fund is 729,536, and then capital funds with this 2. We did mature 101,561.56 in August, and I believe another one just went out. And we're maturing as we get bills in for construction work. So as scripts go out for that, we are maturing funds out of the invested back into the capital fund to cover those costs. Then internal review and reconciliation against the treasurer. I managed to get the treasurer's report in yesterday. And so in-house, we've looked at it as staff. We're still waiting for it. We'll still have it go through Commissioner Connor and yourselves. Then otherwise, credit cards, petty cash, and payroll and general deposits have all been reviewed by Commissioner Connor.
Okay.
And then reason most current correspondence is that ongoing with the public records request for the rain garden. And that's for any and all documents related to the rain garden. That's still in progress at this time. Another request was for the Zoom recordings of commissioners' meetings on May 2021 and the August 4th special meeting of 2021. That record request has been closed. And then an additional inquiry on the rain garden, a technical question that's being, this as a technical question, it has to be handled by staff other than me. So, and then for district basic priorities moving through right now are still the public records requests, obviously, performance reviews, board for volunteer firefighter buyback on the pension, and the annual report, which is still outstanding due to lack of time to get onto it, I'm afraid. So that's it from me.
Okay,
And can I thank Jennifer? She helps she does so much to get these put together. Yeah, a lot of the work goes to her. So thank you.
you can thank Jennifer, and we thank Jennifer for all our work. Thank you.
Stop.
Okay. Okay, the next item on is the chief's report and training report.
Oh, sorry. As I'm scrolling through, I just got I can show you stuff there. That you do have the breakdown of the budget for 2021 and the fund summary, what's in the account on the general, and then the capital summary. So, sorry. But that's the chief's report right now. I'm done.
Good afternoon,
Okay, Chief.
commissioners. I was going to bring it up. So Roz, if you don't mind, we'll just scroll through. I want to ask a question. Commissioners have the opportunity to read my September report. And are there any questions I need to elaborate on right away?
I've read it. No questions.
I think the big ticket items for the most part, I'm sorry, go ahead. The large ticket items are actively working with Bob Merritt on our end of the bond. One thing that's not in my report for September is I come to conclusion with the propane tank in the back of Station 31 and determined how we can research current pricing for propane when we go to fill the propane tanks that will be coming in. And then I've reached out to the vendor, and what we've already purchased will be credited. So working on propane tanks is that part of the piece of the puzzle moves forward. Station 32, significant progress yesterday and today, and I know Bob's going to talk about that. But the communities, as they drive by, they're going to be able to see that we're making progress. So a couple of issues with the fleet for the month. Minor issues, had to do a tank level repair on engine 32. Brush 31 continues to have a stubborn pump motor, which as soon as fire season's over, I'm going to work to get the carburetor rebuilt and see if we can't get that thing to start a little bit easier. It's just a hard starting pump. All the others are working well. Still working through tire replacement, part of the 2021 budgeted project to make sure the tires on the apparatus are safe and the DOT required tires for the larger trucks are legal. So those are all the steer tires have been replaced, part of the plan. And then because I've worked really hard to stretch our dollar, we're going to have a few dollars to take a look at drive tires for tenders. And let's see what else is important. A new update on the KCFD meeting schedule for September 22nd in Goldendale. The DNR reached out to me yesterday, the state fire liaison officer. It's a position that the state has, and that's a liaison officer between the DNR and all fire districts and fire departments in the state. And they want to come to Klickitat County and have dialogue with fire chiefs to get feedback on some funding that the state lands commissioner was able to acquire for this biennium. And so that'll be taking place in Goldendale on the 21st of September. Another update, fire chiefs are having discussions right now on potentially extending the burn ban for 2021. Typically it expires at the end of September. County commissioners will have that to them. My recommendation is we extend the burn ban to allow, based on the National Weather Service's upcoming forecasts, September's slated to be dry, but it looks like they're predicting a turn 1st of October. So I'm hoping that by extending the burn ban in the zone 3 area, that will allow opportunity for some wetting rain to come in and put hydration in the fuels for the 100 and 1,000 hour fuels. So it's again, we're still waiting on the other fire chiefs in the zone to provide comment on that topic, but that is coming up, burn bans. Let's see what else. Nothing more on under canvas. And then of course, you'll see my bullet where related to the state, Washington State Department of Natural Resources. I did talk to the liaison officer yesterday, gave him a summary of Fire District 3's ongoing attempts to make sure we're good partners with our state agency to stretch not only our tax dollar, but state tax dollars with some infrastructure money they have coming up in for the DNR. And while I have not seen anything official, the DNR apparently intends to relocate their operation potentially to the Dallasport area. I have strong reservations with that. I've communicated that to them. I've pointed out where that doesn't make sense. I certainly don't think that the citizens of the White Salmon River Valley, which also will include Trout Lake and Glenwood and Waukaikis and Appleton, all those areas in Snowden, and the cities of White Salmon and Benjamin, and the communities on the eastern portion of Skamania County are going to be too excited to hear that DNR is wanting to move their operation further away from DNR protected timberlands and DNR trust land. So it's a conversation that I'm still having with them. They've been informed that should they choose to do that, while we don't control it, they will be obligated to communicate to the citizens of the area what their intent is with state-owned, taxpayer-owned properties and process. So just an update on that. Any questions so far? Okay, I'll move on to training real quick. We scrolled up, let me pop up my version. I forgot to mention that as of, what day was that? As of the 7th, we did have 39 calls for service. And then in the month of October, or excuse me, August, forgive me, I want to make sure I've mentioned, I've already reported it correctly. We did have one backing accident with water tender 31, caused some damage. I did reach out to the insurance company, and we have made efforts to get quotes for repairs locally. We're not able to do that. So tomorrow morning early, I'll be taking the tender to a body shop in Yakima, closest place, either Yakima or Portland. And it's about the same commute time to get a quote for repairs for tender 31. Still functional, still safe. It's just some minor body damage. Training. So moving on with training, we have been working with folks on training, and we did some progressive hose lays. It's time to revisit wildland deployment competition drill. Even though we're towards the end of fire season, it's still not over. So the folks did a great job of throwing fire hose and the wildland progressive hose lays. I want to say that the first engine delivered water within 4 minutes, which was pretty good, and had their hose picked up and put back on the truck as it's stacked within, I think, 7 minutes. So they did really good. We've also done some water drafting drills with the tenders and the brush apparatus. We've done some wildland pump and roll drills, and then we've worked on apparatus inspections. So I did do a presentation to White Salmon Rotary, and then also to the Snowden Community Council in the past month. Are there any questions?
I'm good here, Chief.
I'm fine.
Thank you. End of report.
Good. Okay, moving on. The next item is the ongoing business is personnel. the training captain, part-time training officer. And I believe, Chief, are you, that's yours?
Yes, it is. Forgive me, I'm just getting up to speed. So this, these are two separate issues, but I want to make sure that give the board an update. Previously, the board has approved me to look at options for our training. We identified that with the resignation of the previous training officer, it's created a dent, and we need that help, and we have budgeted monies we can do that. So Joe Yela, current volunteer, has made that proposal. Highly qualified individual, made a proposal for some part-time work to help me with the training program, and we have initially met. We have to finalize employee contract and such, but he is ready to begin that part-time work after the 20th of September. So that is moving forward. And then the other piece of the puzzle, I'm sorry to add on to that, I'll just grab it now. Performance reviews are in process as required.
As well as the chiefs by the commissioners. That's all underway. Anything else under personnel?
No, sir.
Okay, moving on to policies, the public records update. We talked about this at our last meeting, and there were some questions that we tabled it till this meeting. Are we ready to discuss it at this meeting? Any comments, Roz?
No, I have not seen the additions that were discussed at the last meeting. So that's still on hold.
Okay, we'll have to table it till our next meeting then. Next item on the agenda is the bond. Do we have a merit somewhere, project manager?
Yes, sir. Can we share the screen? Roz or Ron, can you give me the screen? Can you share the screen?
You should have it, Bob. She said.
Host disabled participant screen sharing. There we go. Okay, just give me 1 second here. I'll bring this up full bore. All right. There we go. We will. There we go. Does everyone see that? Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Yeah, looks good.
All right, can you see the arrow?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
I'm
I see an arrow.
all right, good. So I'm my report is mostly on progression on what we've done, and then just a little report on change orders, a little bit, which is something that we're working on. So a station 31 and 32 update. So we've completed all the site work in the back, and right now we're making the final preparations for the generator pad, which has to be poured, and the propane pad in both of the station locations. We made some changes to how the plumbing from in station 31 of how that propane tank runs into the station. And we think that we'll see another modest deduct in plumbing costs, because we're going to do things more efficiently and bring it straight into the building rather than or straight to the corridor, which is where it branches off and goes in this different direction. Anyway, so that's going well. There is an invoice on the way for those tanks, 1,000 and a 500 for station 31, and two 500s for station 32. We wanted to lock those down. Those are rare, and they're 18 weeks out if you buy a new one. So we were we want to be careful that we have those. Those low, as you recall, the low bid price was co-op the co-op in Yakima, they were $1,000 a tank on the 1,000-gallon tank, 1,000 gallons less than the ones that we looked at in the Columbia Gorge. And the Columbia Gorge one didn't have anyone available. So we're on set with that, just making a few more changes. I'm going to talk about concrete in a little while, but there's a lot of setup ready for concrete, but concrete isn't available to us until about the first week, the last week of September, first week of October. So there's a lot of forming up of all of our things, so it'll be one great big pour. This is your boardroom office, and here you can see the floor has been cut for the 2 posts that will be put in. That strange material right there is some sort of a cinder blocky kind of stuff that will have to be removed. But they will pour those in there, and then you'll have some square 4x4 posts that will now hold up the center of those glue lamps. As you recall, those glue lamps were determined to be undersized and structurally not prepared for much of the load that it has gotten in the past. They were stressed pretty good, as you're well aware. So we had waited for quite a while from Western Wood Materials for a quote to put some sort of a suspension system, an engineered suspension system in place rather than the posts. And the estimated cost was $35,000. And this particular change is actually a zero cost to us. It was already in the bid. So obviously we took the zero cost, even though we'll have a couple of posts in the room by the time we're all done. This is the hallway, and right to my left would be the women's lab, the new women's lab. So you're looking down the hallway at the very, very end where that opening is. That opening will be closed. That's the decon area. And you can see all the plumbing is in, the floor is in, the drains are all in for that. Excuse me. That will be all filled in. The reason why I showed you this is the IT room where we sit. This is the kind of the heartbeat or the brain of all of the electronics, power panels, and so on and so forth. All of this right here, the blue, that's Cat 5 data, and you can see it goes off in different directions throughout the entire building. But this is a secured room just off the boards training and the training room where your main computer will be, and all of the patch boards and what have you, in order to allow you to ship data or all sorts of other electronic types of enhancements to any room in the building as part of kind of our EOC update, and how we'll have a secured IT and computer, the main base computer. So that you're seeing a lot of that. So most all of the wiring is done and ready, as well as all the ITs are run as well. This is outside on the east side of the building. This is all ready to pour now. This was the old, this is your entrance into the your east hallway. This has all been prepped now to be poured. What I wanted to show you is this is a fairly large diameter yard hydrant that we exchanged for, instead of having those copper water lines in the apparatus bay to fill. So this is where the fire engines will come in after an incident, and they will fill. One of the things that Fordyce liked about it is it's on our side of the meter, and so we can keep track of the water better that we're using, as opposed to stopping at a hydrant in the middle of the street and filling or something like that. So this is all ready to go. Our meter is all in. All of this stuff is ready to pour and sitting. So again, it's just waiting for our time to be scheduled. So this is the apparatus bay without that center wall. And actually it's looking very, very much like an apparatus bay, other than the fact that we still have not got the delivery of our rebar. Those floor drains. Those are all the pitched floor drains right there. Those are all set to grade, all ready to go. All of that stuff on the back wall will be cleared off. For once, it'll look like an apparatus bay when it's done. It looks like the pour for this, which will be an all-day pour, is the second week of October, is what's in my notes. And I will add that we did, not at our last meeting, but the meeting before, we had some very distinguished guests that kind of walked through the building while we were there, that came and decided to tour the building while we were having our meeting. So I guess they're neighbors of yours, and so they wanted to see what the fire station looked like. This is 32s, and this is just about a week, about 10 days ago, as they were getting ready to pour the footings. And so since that time, there's been quite a bit of progress made up 32. A lot of focus up there because we have delays in material, particular rebar at Station 31. All of the site work is pretty much done at Station 31. I didn't get a picture, but the whole back end is all now covered and flattened out, except for the propane tanks going in. There will be some near future discussion about what your finished surface is going to be in the back of Station 31. Right now, it's just scheduled to be dust. And so you'll need to think about how you would like to have a finish on that, whether it would be gravel or grass or whatever else. So we started those discussions and we'll work them your way. So this is 32. This is actually Wednesday morning, and you can see the footings have been poured, and we're already starting to fill in with some of the spaces here, and by that afternoon the walls are actually up on that, and by yesterday we were already putting the roof trusses on. So this Station 31 is moving along, 32, I'm sorry, is moving along quickly now that we've got concrete and we have all the other kinds of amenities done. So we're real pleased with the progress. I think we may be out of the delays curve. Most of our stuff is on time to come now, other than of course just waiting. This is now the new pad where the new water tank will sit, the one that's the vertical tank that's sitting over on the other side. This is all set for the tank to be moved in there, and some discussion about how that would be repainted and decorated. There is your old tank that was pulled out of the ground, and where it's at, that depression becomes the rain garden for Station 32. Okay, the only other thing that I wanted to talk about was change orders. We're trying to meld and merge between Hale Construction's software and our process of tracking the change orders as they've come. And we've done a pretty good job, other than we've kind of gone back and forth, and we're on the back and forth side of this again. And so we weren't able to get an update on Wednesday. We will this upcoming Wednesday. But let me just give you a few numbers. I think there's two important things. First of all, is we're awaiting somewhat of an idea what the last 15 change orders are going to do in terms of affecting delays in completing in 247 days. Okay. Those should have been submitted a little bit earlier. We kind of put a full court press on them a little bit and told them that the change order should always include how many days there are. Well, we didn't know how many some of these days are just because of the delays in material. We don't think it's going to be too harmful or too bad. But the main thing is that our last meeting, I think we showed you the change order, and we had generated about $30,000 worth of change orders between asbestos, adding $12,000 worth of material that had to be removed from the apparatus base at 31, and a number of other kinds of things like that. Well, the other half of that is that we just got our numbers in from the deducts for the value engineering. And so far, between station 31 and 32, we're at about $26,300 in deducts. That means credits to us. So really our change orders are right now are right around $5,000. And we still have more value engineering to do and deducts for some plumbing things that we've discovered as we've done. So that's my report, Mr. Chairman. Questions?
Any questions for our project manager?
No.
I'm happy.
Okay, gentlemen,
Is the
capital purchases. We're gonna add the public and discuss in the public discussion phase. I didn't mention that before, but it's been our precedent in the past that we have a public discussion at the end. Okay, gentlemen, capital purchases. Any comment on that, Chief?
My apologies, I was working on something. Trying to get the agenda back up again. Thank you, Roz. Oh, no, that was me. Trying to navigate here. Oops. Oh, I dumped it. Can you read the where we at again while I dig this back up?
We're on the bond capital purchases.
Forgive me, I got busy. I accidentally closed it. Special meeting. So at this time, unless I'm missing it, I don't have any capital purchase requests.
Okay,
There he is. Thank you, Roz.
moving on then. Moving on to White Salmon City Council Public Safety and Joint Use Facility. Chuck, anything from White Salmon? We talked since the last meeting.
Oh, have not had any contact from Jason, and I will probably need to initiate some in the next 30 days, so I'll have a report next month.
Okay. Joint use facility, the same thing there. There's been no contact or any contact from the White Salmon on that facility. So if there's something, we'll report it next month. Next item is out of district billing. Any action there? Roz or Wes or Jennifer? I think Jennifer is running that.
Yeah, I did receive correspondence back from the collection agency. It looks like the house is up for foreclosure toward the end of this month. So they're just waiting to see what happens with that.
Okay. The next
Can I ask
item
a
is
question,
DNR.
Tom? Tom?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes.
I wonder if I could ask a quick question to Jennifer. If the place goes into foreclosure, does our a bill attached to the whatever's owed on the property? Is there any chance of us getting our money when it goes up for sale?
It wouldn't happen automatically. You'd have to file a lien. You'd have to file a lien with the auditor's office. It doesn't happen automatically.
Yeah. Yeah, the collection agency is taking care of all those details, so we're just kind of waiting on them.
So it's in the works, and that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, just curious. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, next item is the DNR Houston Workstation Facility. Wes, you mentioned that before, something about that, but do you have any more to add to that?
To that topic, I just want to make sure. You have opportunity to ask questions that you may have and discuss it in your meeting.
I think that the only thing there is you covered it, the subject when you talked about it. I don't know about us having any more activity at this time unless the other two commissioners do. Any more activity with the DNR Houston Workstation Facility?
I'm only aware of what the chief has already said, I think.
Okay. Moving on then, the next item is the BBFF, the firefighters pension buyback. Roz?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything back from the state on that yet. So that was, I think, still for the 2014 buyback. So no news from
Okay.
their side.
A new business, under new business, we have interlocal training agreement review and rescind. Wes, any comment?
So that one's mine, and at this point, because of the interlocal agreement is a contract between the City of White Salmon and Skamania Fire District 3 for training. I'd like to point out to the board that no funds have been transferred on that project since, or excuse me, in the budget year 2021, because we were unable to fill the position when we did advertise that. There's not been any fund changes on behalf of the city or Fire District 3, and so I would ask the board to consider allowing me to make formal notification per the interlocal agreement. We would like to rescind it with the in hopes that they will agree that the 1-year period has up until I think September 30th of this month will be 1 full year.
Neighbors listening in.
For that purpose, and then of course, as I mentioned before, we're working on training for Fire District 3 in the form of a part-time employee that we can and have budgeted for within our budget.
Okay, gentlemen, you've heard what the chief has said. I need a motion that he can go back and talk or send a notification to our two partners in the interlocal agreement announcing that what he's just said. So I need a motion, gentlemen.
I'll move to authorize the chief to move forward with rescinding the joint training interlocal agreement as just discussed.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Okay, next item of new business is our 2022 budget, to the preparation for that. And it looks like we need to set some dates for the budget workshop and the budget hearing. Roz, any comments, or what do we need to do?
I guess just give me your availability for a workshop date.
Okay,
the deadline.
my personal one. Go ahead. I didn't
Oh,
mean
I was just going to
interrupt.
say that the deadline to the county is the end of November. So working back from that date, we also need to have the hearing in November for the budget. And so it just, some point in October, we would need the workshop. And I think it's a fairly long process sometimes, so.
As far as my position, I have 1 week, September 27th through the 30th, I will not be available. Otherwise, I think I'm pretty wide open through September and October.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but we
How
only
about
need a
you?
couple of meetings. Is that not correct, Tom?
That's right.
So that shouldn't be a problem.
It's getting dates. It's getting
Yeah.
dates so that everybody's available. And it'll be a virtual meeting, I would assume, Roz, so we'll have to, is that a special meeting?
Yeah, anytime you're together, yes.
Okay,
Just to clarify, for budget planning purposes, it is all public. Budget planning is a workshop. You guys will ratify the workshop and your final budget proposal in public meeting in November.
November. Yeah. Okay, Ross, as I said, I've only got 1 week that I'm gone. Otherwise, I'm available. You find a date that works with Chuck and Bob and Wes and Jennifer and yourself, of course, and let us know what the dates are.
Okay.
Okay, gentlemen, do you agree with that?
That's fine. I'm available all the time except on Fridays.
Sounds workable to me, Tom. So let's let Ross go forward and we'll figure it out.
Okay, with that said, then I open the meeting up to public discussion. You are limited to 5 minutes as far as discussing. Please be brief, but you have the floor, whoever wants to open up first.
Hi, this is Justin. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hi. My question is actually for Mr. Merritt. Just curious if he could explain why the rain gardens between the two facilities would be engineered any differently. Specifically, when we were looking at the overflow, there's an overflow design in Station 32, but not on Station 31. And I'm just curious if he knew why that might be different while we're waiting for the civil engineer to reply.
I do not know. That would be up to the civil engineer who designed it in accordance with Department of Ecology standards. I have no idea.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because when I looked at that manual, it looks like all of those features are supposed to have an overflow. And so I'm just curious if there was any explanation that was given to you. All right,
No.
thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
Good afternoon, this is Sherry. Also, for Bob Merritt, I would like to know if the county building has approved the rain design for the Station 31 with its without it having an overflow directional outflow. Has the county approved that particular rain garden?
I have no idea what the county process is. In my discussions with Jeff, Jeff would believe that there isn't probably anybody at the county that has that expertise. But as was noted in the specs and on the drawings, the pond was designed in accordance with and compliance with the 2019 Washington State Department of Ecology, Eastern Washington Storm Water Plan. And I'm assuming that the county trusts that and trusts the civil engineer. So I'm not sure what their process is. All that I know is that we're required to control our water. We paid to have a design, the district paid to have a design done. It was approved by the county, and we're operating under those guidelines underneath that permit strictly. It will be inspected, or it may have already been inspected. Not real sure, but I'm not real sure, ma'am, what the county's process is. They gave us a permit.
So they did approve, you're telling me that the county building did approve this particular rain garden design without an overflow feature?
They gave us a complete permit for the entire civil, structural, electrical, mechanical, plumbing drawings that we submitted.
Okay, so what I'm just going to reiterate what my concern is as the neighboring property owner is that Department of Ecology's guide, including the Eastern Washington, says that it should have an overflow system that guides the water in a certain direction. And as we have noted, nobody will be able to tell us what the grade slope is from that edge of that rain garden that you are building 10 feet, if that, from our property line. If you do not put an overflow in that design, as ecology says, also it should be bermed. because of the land slope. If you do not do that, the only where the water will drain is onto our property. And we are very concerned about this, Mr. Merritt, and I don't know how do we get to the bottom of this. But as before that is completed, I believe that the county should inspect it. I believe that you should go through environmental health to make sure it is a correct design, since you are going off of what the ecology has said you should be doing. And it's very suspicious that one rain garden would have an overflow design versus this rain garden that's located next to our house. So I'm on record saying this is very concerning as neighbors, that this rain garden does not have the features that ecology says it should have. So I would hope that we can get to the bottom of this before you fill it in, and then we're, whatever. That's on record. And I'd like to know why they're different, and if the county will come and look at it and say that that's okay, and tell us that that's okay to not have an overflow design to this garden. Does anybody else have anything they can offer me as why these two rain gardens are constructed different, designed differently?
I think it's been covered by our project manager. Anybody else got any other comments?
I'll just echo what Tom just said, and what our consultant, Mr. Merritt, said, that we have an approved set of plans. The design has been reviewed, stamped approved, and we're following the design as approved. So I don't know how we can say much more than that. We're doing and continue to do exactly what we have submitted to the county.
As the neighbor property owner, I am telling you, I would like your kindness and maybe consideration to look at your design. It will flow into our property. If you do not design an outflow and overflow, it will hurt our property. So
Dennis, I have to turn that off. Oh, I'm sorry.
So, I don't know what you want to do about it as human beings, as neighbors, that we are telling them water will flow. Are you guys gonna have any consideration to this design flaw that is happening at this moment? Or are you just gonna ride on your laurels that the county gave you a stamp and you don't care what damage you do to our property in the future?
I'm gonna jump in here real quick and say that I resent your implication that we don't care about what's going on in regard to that. We have done everything possible to meet the letter of the law. We have submitted our plans. We've had them stamped by an engineer who reviewed the contents of the plans. The county's approved them. So I think that we've done everything we should do in terms of the rain gardens, whether it's at Station 31 or Station 32. The design has been approved. And I can't tell you the particulars of the design any more than anybody else at this meeting can. We didn't design it. We asked the engineers to follow the rules that are required of the state and the county and so forth. They have done that to the best of their ability. The plans are approved. And I think we're being very concerned about our neighbors on every level in terms of water retention and so forth. And so it's been addressed, and I don't know what more we can do. If there's something else that you would like to pursue, then I would suggest that you contact an engineer and have them review it on your own, because we've done everything we can do.
You have not reviewed this with your engineer, and you have not gotten an answer why this rain garden does not have an overflow. And you are being told that this is an issue right now, and you are just, again, putting it off, that you have a stamp of approval and you do not care what damage you will do to our property in the future.
Okay, well, I'm offended that you feel like we don't care about your property. And so I'm going to leave it at that. I think we've done everything we can do as a board, as a district, and there's nothing more to be said about it. We are caring about you and everybody else in the neighborhood too. So I resent that implication, and I'm going to leave it at that.
And I resent the implication that you say you care because your actions speak louder than words. You are not getting the correct answers. You are not looking into why this design is different. Your actions speak louder than words. I am offended by that. You do not care what damage you will do.
Okay, okay. Wait a minute, but hold off for a second. Your comments, and you have made a number of requests for information. We have given you information. In fact, we are still in the process of giving you information. And so until all that information is given to you and we close out the issue, right now we are in a position where we are finally trying to meet your public records request in regard to the rain garden. Let us finish first before you get going off on a tangent here. I think that we're done talking about this subject at this meeting. Thank you. Okay, is there any other public discussion, any other questions that people would like to raise? If not, is there any good of the order? Hearing none, the next meeting, our next regular meeting will be October 14th at 1500 hours. Yes. Would you identify yourself, please? All I see is a telephone number. Okay, moving on then, our next regular meeting is October 14th at 3 o'clock, 1500 hours. And if we have special meetings for budget workshops and budget hearings, those will be identified and put in our on our website. Any other comments about that, Ross? Any comments, Ross? If not, gentlemen, I request a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
Do I have a second? Chuck, you're on mute.
Sorry about
You're
that.
on mute.
I had a mute button on there. I second the motion.
Okay, then we adjourn at 16:03. Thank you, everybody.
Take care.
Hello, I am a member of the public and I asked to speak. I sat through this whole meeting and I would like to speak.
Okay, ma'am, would you please identify yourself so we can have it for our records?
Yes, I will. My name is Bonnie White.
Okay,
Okay,
and what,
this is about the fire district and recent activity. During the undercanvas CUP process, Chief Long's 6/10/21 letter to Mochi Lindbad, Klickitat County Planning Director, was entered into the conditional use permit record. In that letter, Mr. Long states that while not directly connected, you are aware Mr. Robert Connor of 50 Moore Road, Snowden, contacted your office and informed you of fraudulent letters submitted in as opposing the proposed undercanvas project. Mr. Connor is the elected official, blah, blah, blah. It says he did not do that and clearly said so. This is a fraudulent attempt to negatively impact the fire commissioner and the entire board of commissioners. And he says this is unacceptable, and a fraud report has been filed with Klickitat County. Fire Commissioner Lloyd then went on to write 2 letters. One was, excuse me. I'm sorry. I can't talk with that. Okay, one of them stated that okay, this was followed up by an opinion piece in the local newspaper from the Citizens Advisory Council of Klickitat County Fire District Number 3. It was then followed by a letter from Fire Commission Lloyd stating, at the hearing, a number of persons submitted public comment after taking an oath to be truthful. He goes on to state, such testimony included statements that firefighters were not competent and that business transactions are carried out in a manner shielded from the public. He characterized these as deliberate lies and went on to state, we refrain here from publicly identifying those who gave false testimony, but expect to see some sort of public apology by them to the personnel of KCFD3. This is important because during the CUP hearing, Mr. Casina went on to say, and he was the attorney for UC, there have been similar kinds of mischief committed by unnamed persons, unknown persons, for example, which implies that there were more. And he said they sent a letter to the planning director regarding allegations opposed in opposite. I'm sorry. My computer is on too loud and it's reflecting back. I'm hearing it as I'm trying to talk and it's distracting me. Okay. Mr. McBrady stated, and that's a fact, our company has been the victim, frankly, of, in effect, fraud in this process, where a letter was sent under the incorrect header of a fire commissioner sent to the county, when in fact the fire commissioner did not send that letter. Right after that statement, Mr. McBrady mentioned my name, which might lead one to believe that I was involved in some sort of fraud. This was all followed up by an opinion piece in the local newspaper. Okay, what I want to do here is I would like to ask Mr. Connor, how is his fraud investigation going?
Well, I can answer that. It was reported to the
Who
county
is this
sheriff's.
speaking? Is this Mr. Connor?
Yes, it's Commissioner Connor.
Okay, yes.
The whole issue was reported to the sheriff's department, and I've heard nothing back from them. I wouldn't expect anything to come up. I don't know how in the world it could ever be discovered who did that.
Well, I noticed that all of the emails were sent from the same email address as the one used to file the complaint from Ochi. Do you think that they hacked into your email also?
Commissioner, may I help Ms. White with answering some of that? May I have permission?
Yes, go ahead.
Ms. White, this is Wes Long, the fire chief talking, just so you know who it is. We don't know, as Commissioner Connor said, who did it, but it was not a case of us being hacked, the fire district. The symptoms, and this is informal, I'm not a police officer, but I do know people in the computer industry. The symptoms of the email that was sent fraudulently on behalf of Commissioner Connor was that it is under a what they call a robo address, I believe was the term, outside of Fire District 3. We have never, I want to make it clear, we have never finger pointed to any one individual, but the actual act, not just because Commissioner Connor is a commissioner, but because Commissioner Connor is a citizen, also was under the guise of something he would said it was a felony the act of that fraudulent letter
Mhm.
was a Class B felony. So Commissioner Connor did file a police report. The sergeant did come to his house, but the status of the investigation, that is completely on the shoulders of the Klickitat County Sheriff's Office and
Okay,
Commissioner Connor.
Fire Chief. I would like to ask you, why did you feel it was important to enter in that letter that that this was going on? Why did you feel it was important to enter it into the CUP hearing if it was some robocall?
Because regardless of where it came from, it inferred that the fire district as a whole, one person, whether it was myself or a commissioner, it created a cloud of controversy that I wanted to nip into the bud immediately.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Olson was called out at a fire meeting.
Okay, let me
Is it
correct you
normal
on,
for
I mean,
him,
this is
for
Tom on,
someone to be called
Miss
out
White,
at a fire meeting?
Miss White. Miss White,
Yes.
this is Commissioner Montague. I want to
Yes.
correct you. The three commissioners are Commissioner Montague, Commissioner Verts, Commissioner Connors. That's it.
Okay.
Lloyd Olson is a member of the Citizens Advisory Committee, not a commissioner.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the Citizens Advisory Committee picked this up from Chief Long's letter in the record. In Mr. Olson's letter as a citizen of the advisory committee, he stated that that they apparently know who these people are or is asking for some sort of apology. Who are you refraining to as giving
I
false
think
testimony?
that, I think, if I
Referring
may
to.
talk again, excuse me. I think that it was picked up in the hearings because everybody listened to the hearings, that it was an indication from that. It was not anybody that we know about. It wasn't necessarily picked up from the chief's letter. It just was from inference
Wait a
from
minute.
the hearing.
The letter from Mr. Olson wrote, it says that he has, that these people made particular statements. Okay, Mr. Olson went on to write that people made statements in their testimony attacking the fire department. People went to a public meeting and testified in support of their houses, their homes, and their property. And I went through, I was so upset by this that I went through the tapes and I typed out the complete testimony of each person who spoke under oath. And I found almost no reference to the fire department itself. I found no criticism of the fire department itself. I found none of the statements that he said, nothing about the firefighters themselves. And it's
Well, ma'am,
I don't
ma'am,
know who did that ridiculous laugh in the background, but I can tell you it's all public. It's all on a public website right now. Every single person's oath, every single person's testimony under oath. And I believe that those letters are incorrect. They're false. And if anyone's not telling the truth, it has nothing to do with the opposition against Undercanvas, but it all seems to point to our fire district. It is conspicuously curious that all of these allegations stem directly from people connected with KCFD3, and that they are all made from a public service entity that my tax payments support. I am putting KCFD3 on notice that we are also going to ask for an investigation of this, and we are considering this damaging for us personally, because Mr. McBrearty mentioned my name right after he made those statements. And we consider it damaging to the under canvas opposition and Friends of Oak Ridge. And our fire department should be not spending our tax dollars to slander its public citizens.
Okay, can I respond to that, ma'am?
Sure.
During the course of that hearing, I listened to the hearing as well, and I heard on a couple different occasions, they said that we
You
were
can say what you
unresponsive.
hear, but anybody can read it. Anybody can go to the Facebook website, Under Canvas Not Welcome. Anybody can go to the county website. It's very long to listen to the testimony, and most people won't listen to it. But it's all in black and white, in words, by 33 different citizens who testified. So we cannot live on rumor and insinuation and innuendos. You are our fire district, and you cannot do that to the citizens of this county. You just simply cannot do it.
Is
And
it
I want
okay
it
if
to
I
be in
finish
the
what I
record.
was saying,
I want
ma'am?
it to be on notice that this happened.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. We also heard incriminating things against our fire district. And we
Well, I
published
don't
those
know about
letters.
that.
Well,
I do not
it
know
was in
anything
there.
about that, and I
Okay,
have not
ma'am.
heard it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your comments. I don't know what else to say at this time, but we were defending our own fire district, but from the comments we heard in the testimony as well. We heard it.
You can
We
read the
listened to it.
testimony.
Oh, okay, thank you, ma'am.
Please write it down and send it to me. Please write it down and make it public. Just identify
We
who
did.
you're talking about and make it
We don't
public.
know who the people were.
If they were publicly testifying, you should know who they are.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. We have no other comment at this time.
Innuendos and insinuations are damaging to people. They're damaging to communities.
We
And I ask
understand it,
that you
and
stick
it's
to the
is
facts,
to our
the
organization
written
as well.
facts. What? What did
I
you just
said,
say?
we understand these innuendos that you're talking about. We're not making innuendos. We are simply stating facts that we heard, and we are defending our fire department.
Okay,
So thank you for
have every
your,
right to
thank you for
defend
your
the fire
input.
department.
Thank you for your
Because you are
comments.
my fire department too. But when you do it, you need to defend it with facts, written facts.
I think that's exactly what we did.
Okay,
We
thank
we
you,
defended
ma'am.
our department with written facts, and it's pretty clear that that's what we did. And I don't see that there's any further discussion in that regard. As far as Lloyd
Identify
Olson,
the people.
as far as Lloyd
Identify who
Olson's
you're
letter
talking about.
goes, we have nothing to do with any letters written by Mr. Olson.
Neither
We're
does
only
the
responsible
opposition.
for those
That
letters
letter
written
was
by the
not, that
by the
letter
fire
did not
district.
come from this area, from anyone involved here. Okay? It
Yeah,
didn't,
yeah.
wasn't generated here.
Okay, I think the meeting's over. Thank you very much for your comments.
Thank you. Bye.
I think we actually already closed the meeting,
Okay,
but
the
we
meeting's
probably
over.
need to do it
We
again,
have our-
Tom.
It's been adjourned and it's over, so thank you. Till next month. We'll see you then.
Okay. Bye,
All
everybody.
right.
Terminate the link, Roz.